Well,
Anthony.
here we are with Maggie, and we're going to do a tarot reading for her. We're just doing this so anyone interested in a tarot reading can see what it's all about. And that's about it. Let me just make you big on my screen. There we go. So, yeah, you just asked me, how do I best begin? How do we begin this process? I would like to ask you how you feel.
I was really excited that we booked this session together, and I have lots and lots of changes going on in my life. So I'm even more excited because I kind of feel I will get a clarity about these changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there any specific, I know some of these changes. Is there any specific question you have?
Well, I'm toying between my work, like having my business, because I'm restarting my business again after COVID. So I'm toying between focusing on how that will be in the future to come, or the community, because I'm moving to a new location. Should I focus on the community, how best to integrate into the community?
Right. Okay. So the first part is the business. So is that just one whole question there? Is like, how do I incorporate my business into the community as well? Or are you thinking?
Well, yeah, so I want to restart my business. So some of it's online like this, and some of it's in person. So I want to feel how and why and to start it. I have an office space, but I'm kind of, after COVID, everything is scary here. It's just like more mind has to go into it, more due diligence has to go into it.
Okay.
And so, and the community
Yeah.
is maybe part of that, because my community has always been part of my work.
Yeah.
So they're kind of the same, but I would like to, unlike some communities, like when I was in Kelowna, I was more integrated as my work. I would like a little bit of a separation so I can have relationship, private relationship, and closer friend relationships,
Right.
So I could do either or both or one of them.
So why don't we start with, because it sounds like maybe the community aspect is your business, but it's also your personal life.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So why don't we start with just a basic or general question of how do I best connect with my community?
Oh, that's good.
We can branch out from there and see where more specific avenues lead us.
Okay, that sounds good.
Oh, so we have the Fool.
Oh,
The Fool.
okay.
So the Fool, not a bad word. The Fool implies a faith, a leaping, also a non-grasping energy, right? So we can be in search for something, but when we have a trusting energy about it, that's when we can fall into the right place, and it's without force, right? We're not pushing. We're not pushing to. It doesn't take effort to land, right? We have this grasshopper flying through the air pretty effortlessly, is going to land somewhere, right?
So the fool term,
Yeah,
for my English understanding, is not so good, but you're making it sound
Yeah, well, if you think about, like the beginner's mind,
okay.
as people say, have a beginner's mind. The
Okay.
the true master at some painting or tai chi or something, right? It's because they show up every time and it's fresh, and it's new, and it's like, oh, I've never done this before, even though I've done it every day for 100 years or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
it's that freshness
Okay.
that the Fool is, right? So it's like birthing something new and um, experiencing it with just an allowing and a freedom that comes with that, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's helpful. That's helpful. Thank you.
So the Fool. From the Fool, I think we could pull cards for the personal and the business side, right? So
Yeah.
it's gonna apply. The Fool as the centerpiece is gonna apply to both sides, right? So it's gonna be
Yeah.
allowing and surrendering and seeing how it flows. So let's do the personal one first. How does this best support me in my personal life?
Right.
We have a six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles, um, we we have these chickens basking with their food in the chicken coop. And this card is really about receptivity. So, as you're allowing yourself to be open and free and engage in new ways with the community, I was thinking, I also wanted to say, have you watched a grasshopper when it jumps and it kind of goes everywhere? Like it goes in this crazy direction and then lands somewhere, and it's like, what is this? Like they'll just run into walls and stuff, right? And that doesn't sound very good. But the running into walls is like that sense of just, well, I don't know, where I'm going to go, but I'm going to trust. And you might hit the wall, but they're fine, right? They land, and it's okay. So here it's like you're going to be landing in a chicken coop. You're going to be landing in this place where you get to enjoy, the bounty of the seeds, the chicken seeds, all the food that's gonna, mental, physical, emotional well-being, all kinds of different food that you can receive um, in your personal life.
Mm. Helping to build more closer, intimate relationships with friends, and maybe a partner. And a partner.
Yeah, maybe a partner, yes, and a partner. Uh, I feel I want to also say there's this chicken in the background that's really speaking to me. It's this, I don't know how,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
but her eyes, I guess, um, is so piercing, and so I want to add that this is it's signaling to me to say, watch out for the gifts, right?
Mhm.
Like have your focus on
Ah,
on the gift, right? So
okay.
you're jumping, you're moving, you're having all these big changes happen, and have your eyes peeled for the opportunities that can bring more of what you desire. Do you have any thoughts about that, or how are you feeling so far with what I've
No,
said.
I like the feeling of really watching the gifts in everything, because I'm moving to a new community. It will be new people in my life, and um building new friendships, and it'll be really fun and interesting, because it might teach me how to get who to choose to get closer to, from that gift of stillness, or the gift of good communication.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I just switched the view of the Zoom because I'm wondering if when I record it, if it's going to make it.
Oh,
I had just you, so I'm putting it back to gallery, so it might show.
yeah, perfect. Great.
All right. So I think we'll go to the other side now, the Fool here, and connect to your business.
Right.
And how does it sound to say, how do I best thrive in my new community with my business?
Yes.
The Seven of Wands. We have a skunk who's kind of getting ready to use their defensive tactic here. So I feel like with this one, I know you personally, and I know how you get excited about things. And what I'm feeling with this is this being prepared, or being knowing that you might need to say no to opportunities. Um, and also being focused on what you can provide, um, what is really your truth, right? Here's the skunk has this particular unique animal trait, that it can use to protect itself, and I don't know all the things about skunks, but probably other aspects, attracting mates and different things. How can you utilize your particular strengths to um, to connect to your community and to thrive with your business, rather than when there's going to be so many opportunities that could be there, rather than going with all of them and getting you know too excited and
Yeah.
too thin, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Doing too much.
Yeah,
I was reflecting on that today, actually. I was reflecting, how do I want to approach my new work, my new community? And I felt I got the word slower, and more present. Like, if you move slower, you could take little steps, It's not those big steps of jumping right in and jump off and see what happens, which
right,
I'm comfortable with, but I'm finding this is going to be a new way to approach things.
right. Yeah, and with this image here, there's a fence in the background, and I feel like it's saying that it's like you're having boundaries and deciding, like, okay, this is my arena, this is my field, this is where my business is focused, instead of getting what's beyond the fence, what other things are there that you could be participating in or trying to include. It's like, well, where you're, or intentionally set your focus. This is my fence. I'm going to stay within these boundaries because I know there's so much opportunity beyond that could be Um, but it's actually, above the beyond to stay within your realm.
Yeah, and that's a challenge for me, but that's good to hear because I think it's time for me to really learn that. And what does wands mean, or what they're from it looks there's 7 of them and then they have red tags on the bottom or something?
Yeah. So the wands is fire, energy. It's um, it's representative of strength. Um, I would say purpose. Just an inner guidance system. So seven of wands is just one of the many wands cards, and then we have the 6 of Pentacles as well, which is in the Pentacle suit, which is about earth and manifesting and the physicality of the world. When I look at this too, we have the Fool in the middle, and then we have the 6 of Pentacles on the left, and then we have the 7 of Wands on the right. So there is a 6 comes before 7, and I feel that with landing, you take the leap and you land in the chicken coop, and you have your eyes peeled for the opportunities, with the focused boundary, and that just that you're gonna have the splendor show up, right? And then it's about going, okay, well, I know there's a splendor here, wonderful community, all these opportunities and things I can be a part of, but I must keep to my arena and invite only what is really going to work and thrive with that, right?
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never done that before. I've always done everything as a yes. Oh yes, oh yeah, no problem. But now I'm starting to realize there is power in the no because you save that energy for the yes, it's not just spread out all over. So that's a really nice way of looking at it. And yeah. And then seeing one is an earth card and one is a fire card. So
Yeah.
that's good if I approach it first the earth way, and then I can be aware of if there's any difficulties, because in the past I used to say yes to business ventures and they end up being a challenge.
Right. Where to go next? I do feel you had a maybe voice come in around the partnership. We could pull a card for that specifically, and
Okay.
that would be on the personal side, probably.
Okay.
To go into business, but it's generally more personal.
Yep.
Is there any sort of maybe feeling or doubt or anything around the business end of it?
No, that feels good. The person would have to know and accept my work.
Right.
Support it in some ways, support it as in cheering me on or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that looks like. In the past, because I am smart and have done a lot of things, sometimes I'm people are scared of me.
Right. So I'm feeling we have the personal community, the business community. I feel like you're questioning around a partnership, and you're kind of hesitancy about it is could be covered by asking something or looking at your heart. And that you desire a partner who connects to your business, who connects to you in the ways that would benefit.
Wow, what came to me, Anthony, and I don't know if this is relevant in any way, but um, often when I find a partner, I end up being more like their coach or their, care, I care,
Yeah,
it's not a partnership.
right.
I end up being their coach or their children's coach and stuff, which I don't mind once in a while, but then it becomes a pattern and that relationship energy goes away.
Yeah.
It's more like a professional
Yeah,
connection.
yeah. All right. So I pulled the Eight of Wands. And this is by the way, this is an animal tarot deck. I don't have the author or the box currently, but it's a deck I really like. The Eight of Wands. So what we have here, I asked the question about, how do I best connect to my heart, and so that my partnership is an equalness. There's an equality, and that there's a balance between the personal side of it and the business side of it, and that I would also say that the energy of the Fool, of this allowing, and this beginner's mind, this ability to, be fresh in it, right? We could, I'm curious to inquire maybe a bit more about this coaching like pattern, or why that kind of comes up. But with the accelerating motion here, this Eight of Wands card, it's about this movement and the speed, and I would just say that the speed comes with a connection to self. So and speed doesn't have to mean, it could mean, oh, how quickly the relationship shows up, but I think it also connects with ease. You could replace speed with ease, and you could say it's easy for me. It flows effortlessly to me, or it is effortlessly flowing, which connects with the Fool too. So as invocations or mantras that you could, focusing on the ease, right? Have the chicken eye locked on the ease, because that really is going to connect with your focus of, or your boundaries of having, what are you going to include in that boundary? What are you going to include with your business, and where you put your attention? Well, ease is a good focus, right? Ease is what ultimately is a really good quality to have in a partnership or a community or business, or friends, and that sort of thing. So
Yeah, it's interesting. Part of it is my end where I love taking care of people and I love helping people. So it's a natural. So when I see my partner having a difficult time, I I'm happy to talk about it, which ends up coaching about it, to discover an answer,
Yeah.
which is helpful and great, but I jump in too fast. So my part, I think I might need to learn to wait, like what you're saying in the cars, to not rush it so much and let it easily kind of exchange where maybe that person asks me rather than me offer.
Yeah. Mhm. Um, let's pull a card for that kind of vibration or energy or pattern
Okay.
of your desire to help, because that connects with community and it connects with
Yeah,
e-
because it's everything I do. Like I'll go out of my way for someone else because that's what I like to do.
yeah.
But then it's getting to a point where I'm realizing sometimes I go out of my way maybe too soon when that person needs a little bit more time of struggle to learn
Right.
before I jump in and
The Queen of Pentacles, the piggy.
oh my gosh. Okay, let's hear it.
Well,
I can't remember the question. What was the question we asked? Oh, why I help someone? No, I
yeah.
don't know.
So the way I kind of invited this card was asking about um, how do you best help others by helping yourself.
Oh, that's nice. Yes, thank you.
So you're
Yeah,
not putting helping others before yourself in a way
right,
that is going to then hurt everyone. Um,
right.
you're actually integrating it,
Yep,
which you at the beginning you talked about integrating, right? So we're
yep.
integrating ease,
Okay.
and you're basking in basking in the joy in the chicken coop, experiencing the love and freedom, um, just really by being, and like dropping into this community here and this new life. Um, enjoy it, right? And as you have your eyes peeled and you're noticing what's easeful, um, to appreciate that, because that if you as you connect with a partner, um, the more you're really basking in the energy of like how wonderful would it be, how wonderful is it going to be, you're excited about this move, right? You're excited about the community, how wonderful, um, to really enjoy and know that that energy is what like creates movement, right? And creates um is an expression of yourself,
Hmm.
and that is all that real that's really that helps people just by being upliftment of people by being who you are.
So I understand. So are you saying to just be rather than try and help? Like I see an issue and I know I can fix it. I know I can fix it.
Yeah.
Super easy. So I'll jump in and go, hey, let me do that and I'll fix it. Right. But I've noticed recently, one time I did that and I fixed it, and the person got irritated by me.
Right.
And I know it wasn't, they weren't irritated at me. they were irritated because they still were needing to have that uncomfortable experience before reaching out
Right.
and having someone help them fix it.
Yeah, I think you're aware of it, aware of how that can play out already. I would like to add that, one, it's okay, well, is this out of my boundary? Is this out of my focus? Is this taking energy that it creates dis-ease, moves me out of my harmony? And secondly, I was listening to someone the other day and they were saying, I forget the word of this phenomenon, but it's like, oh, there's a problem. So we think this is the problem. So we fix that problem, but it creates another problem over here because it was actually a systemic problem rather than these parts, right? So if you're jumping in on someone with a parts mentality of, oh, look at that thing, I see I can fix that one thing. Well,
Right.
maybe they need, like you said, to create and have a relationship with something uncomfortable, or that creates discomfort. So they're going to be finding other ways, and you're just going to be another thing that they can poke at amidst that, right? But that's not.
That's the changing times too. Like what I'm noticing with the changing times is authority, or even adults like parents and stuff, they're over pushing their children. They're over, rather than giving them space to discover something and then come up with it and maybe help them in the next journey. And I saw that in a mother and daughter relationship, just watching on the street. And I'm like, wow, that is really powerful, to give the other person a little bit more time, little bit more space, and see what outflows. And because I know how to fix a lot of things, I can always jump in if it gets dangerous, you know what I mean? Or too uncomfortable, but I jump in too soon.
I think it would be, like you said, slowing down and stuff, but I think slowing down would also is accompanied with, where is the ease? And if it's easy, then flow with it and go and help because it's easy for you.
Right,
If it's something you're thinking about and you just, it becomes this, oh, I can do it, and whatever, then you kind of moving into a different space.
I think that might be my path for this new relationship, is to, it's not necessarily slow down, because look at the horse, it's pretty powerful and it knows how to go, but it's more being not so rushed in on somebody else's life. So kind of what, mind my own business kind of thing. Until somebody asks me, and if they don't, I have to just walk on by.
And you invite it in by enjoying yourself like that.
So it's more about having enjoyment and being playful rather than productive.
Yeah, or that will be productive too, right? So,
well, that's a good point.
yeah, so
That's great.
we're out of time here. But I think we're
No, that's really helpful. Thank you so much. That's giving me a really good way to approach my new chapter in life.
Yeah, and I'll send you. I can give you a picture of this, and yeah, that's
Okay.
that's about it. So
Thank you so much, Anthony.
thank
I really
you.
Bye.
Bye.